gorgeous people, how are you doing today? Hopefully very well. So my name is Maddie and today I am so excited to introduce you to my primary restorative yoga teacher, Lynette Suchar. So I trained with Lynette about 5 years ago when I was doing my first 200-hour yoga teacher training, and I hadn't really practiced a lot of restorative yoga. When I first started it honestly made me really angry because I was like, why do you keep waking me up from my naps? Stop it. And then after training with Lynette and learning so much about the nervous system and how to really be supported, I was just blown away and I have never looked back. So I will throw this over to you, Lynette, so you can tell us a little bit about what we're doing today.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm going to be guiding y'all through a beautiful, sweet little restorative yoga class. We're going to move through a few poses and then have a sweet Shavasana at the end. And so today you'll need a couple of bolsters. If you don't have any of these props, use whatever you have that is similar. So a couple of bolsters, 2 to 4 blocks, 2 to 4 blankets. It depends how cozy you want to get. The more cozy, the more stuff, right? And an eye covering if you have, that would be great. And a little bonus, if you have a weight, a sandbag, or even a big bag of rice, that will work. Anything that kind of weights you down feels really, really good, right? So I think that's it.
Cool.
Yeah,
you guys are in for a treat. If you already forgot what you needed, don't worry. I am going to leave that in the box below, along with all of the information you need to find Lynette, her socials, where you can practice with her. And before we get started, please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Click that notification bell. Follow me on social media at Maddie Likes to Move. And if you've been practicing with me for a while, maybe think about subscribing to my Patreon. Your support means the world to me. So grab your props, set your intention, and we will see you on your mat. The plants do all the work anyway.
All right, so we're going to get started with our restorative yoga class today, and we're going to infuse a little yoga nidra into it, which I'll talk about. But for now, we're going to get started with our first pose. And what you'll need for this pose is at least 2 blocks, maybe 4. So whatever you have, remember if you don't have blocks, you use whatever you do have. Books, pillows, it's all good. And then we're going to use 2 bolsters. And again, whatever you have, that can be rolled up blankets, rolled up mats, pillows. You can make anything work in a restorative class. And then we're also going to use, if you want to, if it feels comfortable for you, you can cover your eyes. So we have an eye pillow, and you can use a light covering for yourself. That helps to reduce stimulation. And we have some weighted bags, and again, you can use even a heavier folded blanket is nice. Anytime you add weight to the body, it helps to calm the nervous system. So let's set up and you'll see where we're going with this. So we're going to start first by taking 2 of our blocks and placing one at one end of your mat on, let's say, the medium level. Yeah, like that. And the other way, that's what's going to support the head. And then the low level with the other one, and it's going to go just a little bit below that. Perfect. And then we're going to take one of our bolsters and place it the long way, matching your mat. Good. And you just want to make sure it's balanced. So what I would do is make sure the end is right, kind of balancing on the floor. Yeah, you want it sturdy and stable because it's going to hold you up. And you can play with the height. For some of us, we're going to want to be a little more reclined. For some of us, a little higher. And yeah, that looks good. You're going to take your second bolster now and place it the opposite way along the mat. That's where our knees are going to go. So I'm setting this up for you so you can see and set up, and then we'll go into it. Now, I would take one of your blankets And just make a little half fold with it. I would in fact unfold it and then half fold it. Perfect, and we're gonna place that at the top as well. We wanna make sure the head and neck are supported. One thing to remember in restorative yoga that you always wanna support the joints. If the joints are supported, you're gonna be able to relax more. The other thing is, think of always filling the gaps. So if something is hanging or floating in space, if you put something under that, you're gonna be able to relax. And I will talk more on this as we go. Okay, where are we at? So I think I'm gonna get you to grab the other 2 blocks, place one on either side. These blocks are optional, you don't need them. It's just, it's nice to have these options so you can see where you wanna take this. And then have your eye cover handy and maybe both of the weights handy. Yeah, perfect. So now we get to get into this. So keep in mind with restorative yoga, sometimes it takes a little while to set up, but we want to take that time to do that for ourselves because we want to get really, really comfortable and we want to feel supported like we're being held, all right? So really important to take this time, have everything around you so that if you change your mind, you can always add something or take away something. So I'm just gonna get you to sit right in front of the long bolster. You can place your knees over this short one. Beautiful. Now we're doing a little test to make sure this feels good for her. So as she lays back and supports her head, she's gonna see, is this a good angle? Do I feel like I can relax? You might need to, again, go lower, go higher. And that's feeling okay for you. Perfect. So here are a few things we can do with our legs. We can keep them stretched out. I really like this option. You can also bring your feet closer together and let your knees fall open. So like a butterfly position. So that's another option. Yeah, okay. Now, because I want to make this really, really cozy for her, I'm gonna grab the other blanket. And what we're gonna do is make a little roll under her ankles. So I'm gonna give her the feeling like she's floating. So I'm just gonna get you to lift your ankles. We're gonna place that underneath. Does that feel good? Yeah? You can tell, right? She's smiling. You can read someone's body by if they're smiling, if they sigh, things are working good and you can feel that in yourself. So to finish things off, I'm gonna get you, let's see how she feels. Let's place your elbows on the blocks, so just scoot them in wherever you need them. And what I'm thinking of is instead of having the arms out, see what it feels like to rest your hands on your body, propping up your elbows. You might need to adjust the height. You might not like that at all. You might prefer this. One thing that I always tell my students in restorative yoga, that you are the artist of your pose. So we guide ourselves into a shape, but ultimately you get to see what feels best for me. That feel good? Let's try one more thing just to play, why not? Let's take these beautiful sandbags and place either our elbow or the hand on top. So see what that feels like. Maybe, if we think about, we don't want any gaps, let's fill the gaps. So her elbow right now, you might not be able to see, but it's hanging off the ground. So what if we placed her elbow on there? That's okay? All right. Do you like it better with or without? Okay, I'll get you to do the same thing on the other side and then you guys will see here. And you know what I might do instead? I have a couple more blankets. We're gonna put those under her arms and we're gonna use the weights, I think, for another additional piece that I want to show you because it's really beneficial. So I'm gonna go get the blankets. While I'm doing that, I'll get you to add the sandbags, one in either hip crease or the low belly area. So whichever you like, you play with that. going to grab some blankets. We're going to place one for this arm, and then another one for this arm. And here we're going to do kind of the same thing. We're just going to experiment supporting the joints, elbow, wrist, or what you can do is kind of curve it up so it supports you that way. I really like this. And then sometimes by elevating, let's try that. Elevating again, but with the blanket. Oh, see the smiles back. So we know this is working. There you go. Just under the elbow. We may not be able to get her out of this pose once we get her in. So let's take a breath. Scan the body. Check in. If you could make yourself 2% more comfortable, what would you do? This is where I'm giving her the permission slip now to be her own guide, her own teacher. Take another breath. Take a big breath in and out. And again, ask yourself, could I make myself 1% more comfortable? So you have your eye pillow, the eye pillow, a blanket for your body. These are going to be things that come on last once you're settled. If you're feeling good, like you can stay here, give me a little nod of the chin. Good. So when you look at someone's body in restorative yoga, or if you're in it and you're feeling it in your own body, the shape should feel organic. It should feel natural, not forced in any way. Basically, you're using all of these props to rise up to meet you where you're at. That's the most important thing. You're not trying to fit yourself into any shape or any mold. You're using all of this good stuff to hold you. So again, let's take a deep breath in. And out. Beautiful. Do that a few times and just in your mind start to feel like you're a feather floating down to the ground. Keep in mind, it actually takes the body about 15 minutes to start to relax. So you don't have to make this happen right away. It's a journey, it's a process. Take another breath. With each exhale, there's a softening, there's a letting go, there's a dropping down. Ultimately, restorative yoga is a practice for your nervous system. Yes, there's other things going on. Yes, over time, you're going to get a beautiful stretch and opening through the body. But ultimately, this is a practice to balance the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. It's a practice to help us drop down, take some breaths, fill our well, rest in the space between one thing and another thing. It's an opportunity to pause in the space between. So I invite you now to take 3 more natural breaths. They don't have to be really forced, just 3 natural breaths. And as you breathe in, you feel the breath circulating around your whole body. And as you exhale, there's just an unclenching, a letting go. And this is kind of the theme of the practice today. a letting go. Right now we're in the fall season, but it doesn't matter when you're doing this practice. At various points in the year, we might be in a fall season, a time when things are shifting. There's a resetting going on. The leaves are naturally falling from the trees. We're being asked to slow down a little. We're being asked to maybe go inwards or get ready for our journey inwards. So it's this beautiful transition time when it's so important to take these practices of slowing down and pausing. So give yourself a permission slip to be here now. You might even say to yourself, if you get mentally distracted, I am here now. There's nowhere else you have to be. And just let this stillness and silence soak into your body, soak into your bones. And know that slowing down is part of this natural cycle of life. It's a period where we can rejuvenate ourselves. So the breath is just natural. You don't have to force yourself to breathe in any way. You just watch your body breathing. I am here now. And during these times of transition, of change, be so gentle with yourself. I'm going to leave you in silence for a minute or two just to soak up the stillness. Observe your body breathing. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Little by little, letting go. What would letting go feel like? What can you let go of right now? Are you gripping anywhere or clenching anywhere? Soften with each exhale. Either continue to just soften, or you can follow the sound of my voice as I guide you through some breath. Don't focus too hard on it. Bring your awareness to the center of your chest. And imagine a beautiful bright light in the center of your chest. And as you inhale, watch this light radiate and expand out through your body. And as you exhale, feel this light draw back into the center of your chest. As you inhale, the breath expands, this light expands out, 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 maybe around your body. And as you exhale, you feel this energy draw back into your own center, illuminating you from the inside out. With each breath, there's this beautiful expansion. As you exhale, there's a softening back to your own center. And as you inhale, you might feel this light expand out around you into the room you're in. And as you exhale, drawing this energy back into your own center. So I invite you, if that feels good, to keep going, breathing like this with this visual about 8 more times on your own. Or just let yourself float away. We're going to stay for a few more breaths. Staying in these poses, usually 5 to 20 minutes, just to get the full effect of relaxation simmering in your body. Before we come out of this, I invite you to say to yourself once again, I am here now. Reminding yourself that no matter what's going on around you, this present moment is your reality, is your truth. You are safe right here. One more breath in, fill the body, a conscious exhalation. Beautiful. So really important as we transition again, there's transition within everything. Do so with this quality of restoration or relaxation. So take your time as you you might wiggle your toes, you might rub your thumb and index fingers together, whatever kind of brings you back into this time, space, reality. But not too much, just a little bit. You don't want to come back all the way. And then you can start to bend the knees and place the feet on the floor or the bolster. Again, moving slowly. I invite you not to rush, never any rushing in my class. And you might move some props away off your body. Again, do so with ease. Be gentle with yourself. And then whenever it feels good for you, you're going to roll over to one side, but you can just stay on your bolster. Just kind of roll onto the side, kind of moving into this side lying resting position. You can keep the eyes covered. You can slowly remove your covering, but keep your eyes closed and soft. Taking this pause in between each pose as a way to just, I like to think of it like you're just integrating that pose into your body. Inhale, soaking it up. Exhale, letting go of whatever you don't need. Always remembering that this is your practice. So the transition into our next pose is going to be pretty smooth. When you're ready, you can push yourself up, but try to push yourself up. Don't pull yourself up with your head. Let your head be soft and come up last. And then come to sit on your bum for a moment. The next pose we're going to do is a really supported forward fold. So again, this is going to be different for everyone. We're going to keep this bolster in front of us for the knees, and you can stretch right away, maybe not yet. We're going to eventually stretch the legs over top. But what we can do in the meantime is maybe grab one of the blankets and just fold it up and sit on it. So we're cushioning our seat, but we're also elevating our pelvis. For some of us, we just need a low fold. For some of us, we might need a higher fold. If, when you fold forward, it's kind of sticky for you to get there, come up higher. That's going to help tip you forward with ease. If you can fold forward with ease, it doesn't matter how high up you are. All right, now before you get too cozy, maybe grab that bolster that's behind you. We'll set this other stuff aside. I might use it for you. So a bolster and then maybe a block or two, because we want to create an altar for ourselves. As we fold forward, how can we fill the gaps? How can we rest our joints? How can we rest our body on something? So that's going to look different again for all of us. So maybe let's take this top bolster and just put it between your legs like this. Again, you go where you need to go. She might want to rest her arms, her hands on the block. She may just want to take a block and not the bolster and rest her head on a block. Maybe she doesn't need the bolster. Let's try. Let's see what it feels like if you set the bolster aside, used a block. And you can either place the block on the bolster, on the floor. You can prop up a couple blocks. Start thinking about, how can I raise the floor up to meet me where I'm at? What can I use to fill the gaps? How can I support the joints? If you support the bones in your body, the muscles can relax. How does that feel? Would you like a blanket on top of the block to cushion your head? Yeah? So supporting bones, but then also making it cushy. We want this to be like, this is super cozy nap time yoga, right? We don't want to be holding ourselves up. We don't want to be on hard surfaces. How can you cushion and support yourself so that once you find your place, you can just melt How's that feeling? Good. Now what I'm going to do with her, if she's okay with it, is I'm going to place one of the sandbags on her upper back. Let's see how that feels. She might like it, she might not. Now what I wanted to tell you about the weight is anytime you add weight to your body, it's like, you know when a dog has a thunder jacket, there's that bit of compression or hugging. It's like you get a big hug and you just feel so safe and secure and good. It's that kind of feeling. It calms the nervous system. Is that okay? She likes it. I got a thumbs up. If it becomes uncomfortable, you give me a little finger wiggle and I'll take it off. Now she's able to fold forward with ease. If you don't fold forward as far, you're just bringing stuff into your body to meet you where you're at. All right? No one looks the same in these poses. So let's just do a check-in and take a big breath in. And as you breathe in, feel like you're breathing into the back of the lungs. And as you exhale, softening the front of the body. So now again, we're tapping into this fall metaphor. If you could feel fall, the season of fall in your body, what would it feel like? What are the qualities? You might even just envision golden leaves falling from the tree branches. They're not fighting it. They're not fighting change. They accept this natural cycle. Breathing into the back of the heart, the fall side of the body in a way. And I'm going to guide you through a little breath practice in this one as well, where you can see that. So let's start with the breath practice. And again, you don't have to work too hard at breathing. Just let my words wash over you. So just a gentle kind of image. As you breathe in, you're going to breathe in up the front of your body, from your pelvis up the front of your body to the top of your head. This can be, in some practices, considered spring. And then we just hold for a moment at the top, the fullness of summer shining overhead. And as we exhale, drawing down the back of the body, all of the leaves are falling. And then a slight pause at the bottom where we rest in the stillness of winter. So moving with these transitions, inhale up the front of your body. Imagine just a soft hold at the top, the fullness of summer. And then as we exhale, just imagine these golden leaves falling down the back of your body for fall. A soft pause, not squeezing, relaxing in winter. I'll do it one more time with you. Inhale up the front of your body. We're just imagining this happening, using our imagination. Spring, soft hold at the top, resting in the fullness of the sun. Exhale, leaves falling down the back of the body. Good. Slight pause, resting in winter, regenerating. And then if you want to keep going like that a few rounds, you can. If you'd like to let it go, you can. That is the theme today, letting go. Just stay here and breathe. We're going to hang out here for a few minutes. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Just let this stillness and this silence, what would it feel like if it were actually soaking into your body like medicine? You're on all day. You're up, around, being, doing, all day. You've given yourself the permission slip to just drop it all, just for now. We're here just a little bit longer, so just thinking about, can you soften any amount, anywhere in the body? Another option, if you didn't want the weight on you, even taking a blanket and covering yourself like you're going in a little cave, that can feel nice too. What we're doing is just reducing stimulation as much as we can. So I'm going to take the sandbag off of her right away with ease. If you have something on you, you can do that as well, or you can keep it on. And before you come up, I invite you once again just to take a few breaths, like you're breathing into the back of the lungs, clearing out this side we cannot see, this shadow side. Just send some energy there. Exhale, softening the front of your body. And as you rise, again, please do so with ease. Let your head kind of come up last. You can walk yourself up. But don't snap out of it. You would never want to like snap an elastic band. It's the same thing. Just come up with ease. Take a moment. Soak in the feeling. Take a few breaths. Maybe she'll roll her shoulders. Maybe she'll bend her knees a little more. You do what serves you, what feels good. Moving instinctively, not out of habit. What would feel good for you today? And then I'm just going to help her with these props so she doesn't have to work too hard here. And why don't you just lay on down? Lay on down in a Shavasana. You can lift your hips and scoot the blanket out as you go down. But let's just lay down for a moment and feel. Let's just experience the practice. Just experience the practice. Notice how the body feels. Don't think about how the body feels. Feel how the body feels. Notice how the left side is, the right side. Notice the quality of your breathing. And we're going to finish this all off with a nice, releasing, supported and easeful twist. So I'm going to invite you to bring your knees in. You might want to take a little movement. You don't have to not move. If it serves you and you want to like wiggle it out a little, do that. Eventually you'll roll over to one side just so you can transition out of this. Take your time, take your time. Good. Okay, getting ready for this final pose, which I find to be such a nice pose for the nervous system and to complete a class. So we're going to do a little supported twist. I'm going to grab these blankets and we're going to take 2 bolsters and just stack one underneath one. One's long. This is going to support your body. This is going to support your arms. Now, remember, if when you're sitting and the floor feels hard, cushion yourself, add a blanket underneath. Maybe you want that nearby just in case. If your knees feel uncomfortable, cushion the knees. So we'll see where she's at here, and I might even have that blanket a little flatter on the ground. Yeah, and then you'll sit on that blanket. Beautiful. So you're going to sit with the feet behind you. Good. Yes, beautiful. So when we twist, even in a restorative class, always think of twisting with a long spine. So inhale and just get a little length. And then as you twist, you're twisting over to your bolster and you're going to slowly drop down onto the bolster. Now let's start with our face facing the same direction as the knees. So beautiful. So how does this support feel for you? Does it feel okay? This way her elbows are supported, and if you don't have bolsters, remember you use cushions, blankets, whatever you have. So an option here, she may want to put something between her knees or under her feet. She looks pretty good to me, and so I'm going to leave her. What I will do is use one of these sandbags again. Now if you don't have a sandbag, a big bag of rice will do, anything, nothing. It doesn't matter. Use a heavy blanket. It might not be super heavy like a weight, but it's gonna give you that feeling of something supporting you or hugging into you. All right, so all I'm going to do is place it on her outer hip thigh, just as another way to help her feel grounded down. How does that feel, okay? And I'm going to take a blanket. And it's so nice when you have someone to do this for you, of course. You don't have to work too hard, but you can always do it for yourself. And it teaches you that you are your own person. You are there to take care of you. Only you know what you need. So you're always listening to your body. I'm going to take this blanket and just like that hug, that hugging feeling, I'm just gonna also place that. I'm actually gonna place that a little higher so it kind of goes over her head a little, neck. How's that? Is that okay? Yeah. You know it's working for you when you just kind of sigh and let go. And again, once you find your shape, you're feeling so good, inhale. Just, it doesn't have to be a forced breath, but you're breathing into every cell in your body. And as you exhale, there's just this floating down like a feather, floating down like the leaves falling down to the ground. You're falling, you're letting go with ease. And we're going to keep our head facing the same direction as our knees, just to keep this really sweet and soft. We're going to hang out here for just a little bit. And all you have to do is breathe. And you know what? You don't even have to breathe. Your body is breathing. All you have to do is observe your body breathing. And maybe unclench the jaw, unclench the eyes, unclench the fingers. I am here now. Letting go, letting go, letting go. As you inhale, you're aware of the sensations in your body. As you exhale, you just continue to let go any amount, anywhere in the body. And I always use the fingers as an example. Sometimes we don't know how to let go, but we're just letting go. What can you let go of now? What do you no longer need? Maybe that's a holding on of tension in your body. Maybe it's a tense thought that keeps repeating a habitual pattern. Letting go isn't just something that happens, it's this practice, it's this repetitive thing that we continue to do every time we notice we're hanging on and gripping for dear life. We unclench, and we unclench, and we unclench. Take one more breath here. Maybe 2 or 3 if you have some stuff on you, and if you have someone near you that's helping you take it off. Otherwise, you just slowly start to adjust yourself. And whenever you're ready, you'll switch sides, but as you come up with ease. Don't fly up, take your time. And you can either take your props to the other side and switch, or you can just switch here. Knees will point to the other direction. You'll slowly sink back down. Support the joints, your knees are good, your ankles are good, your head is good. The spine obviously is one collection of joints, so the spine is included, all of your bones. You just want to make sure everything's cushioned. And then take a few breaths so you can drop back down, and you'll see on this side where this propping goes. Taking the weight, gently placing it just on your outer hip, outer leg bone area. That's okay. You don't need anything, and you can add all the things. Anytime you add this bit of cushion, you can tell it's like this hug, this little bit of weight resting in against her. Breathing in, breathing out, and just let yourself float back down. And I'm just going to read this beautiful little reading that I've always loved. I don't know the author, but I find it's a reading that brings a lot of peace, I know, to my heart and to my students' hearts. And often in a period of transition or change or letting go, there can be a bit of heaviness sometimes. And this reading is beautiful because it's about gratitude. And I find that gratitude is an antidote to that heavy feeling that we sometimes feel when we're transitioning or having to let go. So if you like this, let it soak in. If you don't, let the words just wash over you. I am grateful for my limits that teach me patience and pace. I am grateful for challenge, defeat, and loss. They teach me hope is not a light at the end of the dark tunnel. It's the ember burning within me that I forgot to fan. I am grateful to my teachers for introducing me to myself. I am grateful for my past that has delivered me to my present. I am grateful for all I have found and all I have lost. Both remind me I can live with and without. I am grateful for silence and for laughter and for my ears that can hear both. I am grateful to my heart that beats and breaks and heals. I am grateful for the fullness of my life, for the brief, heartbreaking, heartwarming fullness of life. So just take a few more breaths here on this side. And I'm going to help her take her stuff off. If you have stuff on you, you're going to slowly, gently remove it. never want to be woken up really quickly and sharply, right? You always want to be gently woken up. And the next pose we're going into is the sweetest Shavasana ever. So knowing that as you push yourself up, you know where you're going to go. You might know what you want for that. Feeling good? Yeah, you can see. So for the sweetest Shavasana, I'm actually going to take that from you. You'll probably want a pillow or a bolster under the knees. You'll probably just want one bolster. That blanket roll I did at the very beginning under her heels, I'm going to give that to her again. I think she'll like that. If you like it, you can try it too. You don't want it under, basically the point of doing that is so it feels like the feet are floating, right? You don't want, when the feet are touching the floor like this, they're stimulated. And so by having the heels floating, we're reducing that stimulation. So probably a blanket for under your head. I'm going to scoot some blankets in towards your arms, but you let me do that so I can show everyone. Probably your eye pillow. I'll do the arm cozies. I'm going to show you a pillow trick actually. Do you want to hand me that blanket? So these Mexican blankets are so amazing. I love them because they're soft, but they're firm. And what I like to do, I fold it so it goes fringe to fringe, fringe to fringe, and then you can see fringe to no fringe. And then I fold it just halfway, and you can see what that does. And you can mimic this on any blanket, but I'm creating this staircase. Shoulders, neck, head support. So it's really sweet because it gives you just the right kind of cushioning. And then once you're in it, you might just squish in the sides, and that just makes you feel all tucked in. So you can give that a try. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm going to roll up her ankle roll. How's that? Yeah, look at that smile. So she's going to lift her heels. We're going to do that. Her feet are floating. Oh my goodness, she looks so relaxed already. I'm going to actually slide in these weights in towards her so she can put one on her low belly or pubic bone area. Good, and then the beautiful thing is we have 2 of these blankets left. So I want to give her that hugged in feeling without too much distraction. I'm going to actually ask her first, would you like your hands like that or would you like them out? Let's try out. Let's do something a little different. Instead of the hugging in, what have I done here? Instead of the hugging in, we're just going to support her elbows and wrists. So I'm folding it a little longer, and then I'm going to take one end and fold it under, so you can see it's a little higher than the other end. And what that's going to do is she's going to support her elbow, and then her hand is slightly elevated, which can feel good for some people. Let's give it a try. Let's do the other one. I always offer, and you can always choose again. So long fold, folding it under, and we'll just try to get those the same distance. How does that feel? You may need to self-adjust from here. They look pretty balanced. And then you have your eye cover on your belly. I'm going to sneak in by my friends, the plants. Oh, we're just going to take a deep breath. Let's do that again. So like an audible sigh out of the mouth. This is going to help that bit of release and sound helps to also tone the nervous system. You can hum, you can whatever feels natural to you. And this is what you would call a sweet Shavasana. So you could do it just laying on the floor, but why would you want to do that? when you can add all of these little details that just help you do that. So to finish, I'm going to guide her through a portion, a layer, if you will, of Yoga Nidra, where we're just going to relax the physical body a little more, if that's even possible. So just take a few more natural breaths, just to again drop down to the ground. Let yourself support not only yourself, but be supported. So you're receiving the support beneath you. And once again, bring your awareness to the center of your chest, like we did before. And just reimagine that beautiful bright light shining here. And bring your awareness over to the right shoulder. And just relax each body part as I mention it. Right elbow. Wrist. Palm of the right hand. Back of the hand. And all 4 fingers and your thumb on the right side. Attention draws back up to the wrist, up the arm to the elbow, back up the arm to the shoulder, and back to the center of the chest. And then your attention moves over to the left shoulder, the left arm down to the elbow, down the arm to the wrist, the palm of the left hand, back of the hand, and all 4 fingers and thumb. And then drawing back up to the wrist, up to the elbow, up to your shoulder, and back to the center of your chest. Light shining brightly here. Moving up to your throat, to the center of your throat. Up to the center of your head, that dark space between your ears. Up to the space between your eyebrows. And all the way up to the top of your head. Softening the lines in the forehead. The right eye. Left eye. Both eyes together. Down your nose, tip of the nose, down to your mouth, your lips, your teeth, your tongue, your whole mouth and jaw together. Down to the center of your throat once again. right back down to the center of your chest, bright light shining here, illuminating your whole body from the inside out. And this illumination travels down into your belly and low back, down into your hips and buttocks, down your legs all the way to the toes, your whole body shining bright from the inside out. Resting here. So you are welcome to stay here and rest as long as your heart desires. The longer the better. If you are ready to start to release the practice, then you'll first become aware of the space you're in. Maybe noticing the sounds around you. Noticing the temperature of the air on your skin. You might lick your lips or rub your fingers together to come back to your body, back to some deeper conscious breaths. Always journeying out of the practice super slowly. Giving yourself that time to integrate back into your everyday life. You never want to shock the nervous system and jump right out. So if you have stuff on your body and you're ready to come out, you might slowly take it off. And eventually you'll roll over to one side, any side, and just curl up in a little ball to prepare to rise. Take a few breaths here and bringing to mind that notion of gratitude and how it can be a soothing balm for mind, body, heart. And just think about one thing you're grateful for today. Bring to mind one thing you're grateful for today. Feel that in your body. And with that feeling in your body, you can rise to a comfortable seated position. Eyes are closed. Gently rub the palms together just to stimulate the heart meridian lines. And then placing your warm palms on your beautiful heart. Drop your chin. Let this warmth soak into your body. And take one more clearing breath here. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking time for yourself today and for sharing your time with me. And thank you to Maddie for having me here. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Wow, that was such a relaxing practice. Thank you so much, Lynette. So nice. It was so interesting, even as someone that is constantly doing yoga and relaxation practices, I found a lot of tension in my body, and one kind of funny moment I had is when my head was on the block. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna look like such a dork when I bring my head up, and it's gonna be on this big red circle. Yeah, how did you guys like it? Please let me know in the comments, and leave a big thank you to Lynette for sharing her practice with me. Thank you, Lynette.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thanks for having me. It was a treat to be able to step into your space and into your world, and I feel honored to have been able to do that and guide you through this practice. So I hope you liked it. I hope you guys liked it. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, and before you leave this channel, please make sure to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and follow me on social media at Maddie Likes to Move. And if you have been practicing with me for a while, maybe think about subscribing to my Patreon. There's lots of great benefits, and any support just means the world to me. Otherwise, be safe, make good decisions, and I hope you have a phenomenal day.
I'll get you to stop there because it's actually Suchar.
Suchar,
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. I've been saying your name wrong for 5 years, so that's great.
Think azúcar in Spanish.
Azúcar. Cool, cool.